And who are you?
I'm Julia Johnson, minister of the Unity Church.
Oh, yeah. Good. Andy, how are you? Well. Hey, good for Susan? How are you? Good, how are you? The band at the concert. Yes. Oh, it's Air Supply? Air Supply, yes.
Well, I kept your email. Who's Susan? Yeah.
She will not leave my side. Sit down.
Cinnamon got out.
Next.
Hi. That's too pretty. Is that right there?
Yeah.
Would you like to take it?
Yeah, she's back there. Come over here, hon.
Okay.
I didn't mean to put all my electronics right here, but I need to.
Zoe. No, Zoe.
Zoe.
Too much excitement.
Yeah, there's too many people calling.
And who is Zoe?
Where's your mom?
Zoe is Holly's canine daughter, which was born at Hilton Head Humane Association on Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, 1998.
Wow.
1998, was that 13 years? 1999. 1999.
So Holly's 15 and Zoe's 13?
Exploring, yeah.
Comfortable.
Wow.
The parade. And Debbie had Holly walking with all of the dogs from the shelter. And we were on the sideline and Holly came right over to the window. And then we used to take the walks, you know, with them and the pictures. And the two of them, Bruce always remembers when the two of them were in the tidal pool. Yeah, and she wouldn't let anybody else in the tidal pool. Right. But remember that?
I don't remember that.
Hey, Zoe.
You're right here.
You don't know what to do around here, huh?
Right.
Zoe.
Zoe, you're so pretty. What a great coat.
Thank you for coming. It means a lot that everyone's here. And it means a lot that Holly's here. In regards to what the prognosis was, I can't be just anything but grateful that she's alert and walking and here. So this will be more of a party than a funeral, and that makes me just thrilled. I want to introduce Reverend Julia Johnson. She is my minister from the Unity Church of Hilton Head, and she's going to be facilitating this wonderful ceremony. Can you hear me?
Not a lot. This side over here was loud.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I heard it. Maybe you'll people.
Thank you, Hopper.
Somebody at the door.
Oh, how fantastic.
Zoe.
You and I were friends. That's slowly.
And as you're doing that, I'm just going to read a very short prayer. us your spirit of life right now. And help us to find comfort in knowing that although Holly is walking through the valley that we call death, she need feel no fear, for you will be there with her, lifting and protecting her and comforting all of us, especially Debbie. For your boundless grace and mercy toward us, we thank you in the name and through the power of that living God presence that indwells us all. Amen. And I found this wonderful little poem that I want to read. And it goes like this. Holly, God looked around his garden and found an empty place. He looked upon this earth and saw your tired face. He put his arms around you and lifted you to rest. God's garden must be beautiful. He always takes the best. He knew you were suffering. He knew you were in pain. He knew that you could never get well on earth again. He saw that road was getting rough and the hills were hard to climb. So he closed your weary eyes and whispered, peace be thine. It breaks our hearts to lose you, but you're not going alone. For part of us goes with you the day God calls you. And so now Holly's going to give some lessons that she learned Debbie about Holly.
These lessons are going to be straight from my heart because I didn't have time to prepare. Because, of course, as everyone knows the way I work, I'm more concerned about sweeping the floor sometimes than about really focusing on things that may hurt. But from the time I found Holly at the shelter, and what happened was 15 plus years ago, I did a video for Hilton Head Humane, and I was brand new here and a TV reporter and working 12, 14 hours a day, you know, just kind of getting acclimated. And I remember I was taking a tennis lesson, and a stray dog came up, and I said, oh, that's okay, I know those people at Hilton Head Humane, I'll take this dog over there. And while I was there, one of the board members said, well, why don't you, while you're here, foster one? And I'm like, oh, well, all right. It's actually a great weekend. My roommate's gone, so what the heck? So I said, for whatever reason, I wanted a chow, and there was two. And there was two in the run, and one was real up at front, real eager, and Holly was in the back. And all she did was cock her head at me, and it was almost like she said, what about the kid in the back of the class? And I said, well, I'll take that pretty one in the back of the class. And I fostered her with no intention of owning her. And so I brought her back to the shelter a month and a half later, saying that, you know, I'm new to the town, I don't have time, I wouldn't be a good mom, blah, blah. And she never barked. I didn't know Holly could bark. She gets to the gate of the shelter and she starts to cry. And I said, oh, my, if you could go to therapy, you would have an 8 o'clock appointment, and you'd be talking about me. So why don't you get back in the car, and I'll figure this out. So the first lesson she taught me is that sometimes when you're called to serve or have kids, either way you want to look at it, it may not be the timing that you prefer. You may think you don't have time or it's not convenient, but you just make it work. I went through single mom guilt. You know, maybe things weren't perfect, but we made it work 15 years later. The second lesson she taught me...
Zoe's caught in the curve. My goodness. Zoe's caught in the curve. Oh, my.
Sorry. Let my people free. Yeah. The second lesson, and I was a very naive that was my first dog. Holly's my first dog. The second lesson, and the most important one, is don't think you rescue dogs. They rescue you.
Yes.
And I was very naive to think that we're here to rescue them. and what she's given me over the 15 years is just indescribable. The other lessons are chase things in the wood, take naps, and when you need to have a quiet place and a not a quiet place, just find a little wall and stare at it and make your quiet place. Because as anyone knows, Holly will take 2 inches from the wall and just stare at it like I'm in my little place no matter what's going on around me. So when you need the quiet place and you're not in a quiet place, make one yourself, and staring at a wall works. Another lesson came when I took her, I did a TV story on the coon hunt because I was so interested in this whole low country culture. I took her to the coon hunt. All these hunting dogs were in the field. She was at a place. She was not with her breed. She didn't belong. So what she did is she put her little tail up and she walked through those hunting dogs. And so when you're in a place where you don't feel like you belong, just fake it. One of the greatest, wait for that. Another great lesson, and this is when I think dog spelled backwards is God, is when I was working too many hours. I was miserable at WTOC. I didn't have a life, and I had left my shoes outside of the door. And one day, and Holly's been incredibly compliant and incredibly kind and not, into a lot of trouble. She buried a shoe of mine. And then when I got laid off from WTOC, about a month and a half later, somehow I found my shoe right back on the porch. And I thought, wow, there's a lesson. One of the greatest, and then Malachi, of course, my 100-pound Malamute. Another great lesson is when someone's bigger or badder than you, pretend that they are in charge, and after they believe that, then you tell them the rules. Because I had Malachi for about a month and a half, 100-pound Malamute, and this house was perfectly fine. He went into his first house that wanted to adopt him, and he destroyed the house. And I take, and then that couple returned Malachi to me about less than a week. And I have to thank 3 black dogs for helping me with the beast. But I also think that Holly was very important. She let Malachi believe that he was in charge, and then she slowly let him know that she was actually the alpha and the matriarch of this house. And then one of the greatest lessons she taught me was in November when I was house sitting over at Debbie and Mike's house. And I let their dogs out at 4 a.m. and they have an electric fence. And usually, all 3 dogs stay together. And 5 minutes later, Holly was nowhere to be found. And I went 37 hours, in total terror, not knowing how to find her, knowing that she was losing her facilities in terms of her eyes and her sight. And then when I finally got the call, because of course she's microchipped and she's tagged, we found her at the most expensive neighborhood between point A and point B at one of the most expensive homes with the greatest view of the May River I've ever seen. So the lesson is when you're lost between point A and point B in your life, find a great place to sit down for 24 hours and wait for help to come to you. When I got the call, I was, kind of overcome and crying, and then I just started to laugh like, you son of a gun. You always have to teach me something, don't you? And the last lesson, which of course she's still teaching me, is how to let go and just be happy, regardless of what's going on. And the purple, as you see, is the color of change, and that's why you see purple in marches, civic right marches, or oh hey Maggie, or any kind of as people try to forge change. And so I'm trying to learn this lesson of letting her go and still be happy and carry on with the memories. Thank you.
Is that all right?
Celine's singing. It's a special song. It's coming.
Past the planets and the stars, leave this lonely world of ours. Escape the sorrow and the pain, and fly again. What?
Okay, so I'm going to invite you again to close your eyes, and we're going to say a prayer for Holly and for any other little pet that is on its way to the other side right now. So let's close our eyes, and I'm going to ask you to repeat after me as we say this blessing of Holly. So we'll say, Holly,
Holly.
the light of God surrounds you.
The light of God surrounds you.
The love of God enfolds you.
The love of God enfolds you.
The power of God protects you.
The power of God protects you.
The presence of God watches over you.
The presence of God watches over you.
Wherever you are from this day forward,
Wherever you are from this day forward,
remember that God is
remember that God is
there with you. And all is well.
and all is well. Amen.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't. Did you hear me say? It's time for a bacon fest, and and what I'd like to do, if Holly will join us, and I don't know if Holly, yeah, and I don't know if Holly needs to go out.
No.
Where's Marianne?
Cinnamon.
Where's Marianne? Did we lose Marianne? But what I like to do, and in lieu of flowers, if and maybe just so she doesn't die of cardiac arrest tomorrow, and let the cancer do its thing. I don't want to prematurely do this. Is just give her a little bite, not the whole piece of bacon. I mean, not the whole piece, but just a little bite. And you can either say something about Holly, or just give it to her, or whatever you want to do. But I'm going to let everyone go around the room, and I think she'll come back with some bacon. We'll start with Mark. Or you should hold this, Angela. Holly, there's bacon. There's bacon, honey. Okay, let me help her
Does
up.
she want to go out maybe?
Yeah, I don't
Let her
know.
out first?
Let's see if she'll.
Oh, the sauce.
How old?
Heavy.
Oh, 40, 45.
What's your head?
Yeah, watch your
Yeah.
Am I
So
supposed
Mark,
to feed it to her?
Yeah. So if you want to give her a piece of bacon, or that's the bacon. Actually, just use the real bacon. Whoops, sorry. Here, let me just hold her. Hold on. Let me get this rub. She needs traction. Okay. And Mark, if you could start,
Okay.
and either say something or don't say something. Over here. Do whatever you want to do in honor of.
Holly. Holly. You're just like Debbie. You don't listen.
I got bacon for you. We got
Holly,
bacon for you,
come here.
Holly.
Come here, sweetie.
What's the matter, hon? I knew I should have wore pants because this is not going to be very good.
Come on, you're fine.
Okay.
It's important that after you make the transition, that you come back and stay with Mommy.
Aw.
And she may not see you, but she will feel you.
Aw.
Here, it's for you. Oh,
Oh, see? Now she's feeling it.
watch your fingers.
Yeah. Remember, she's going blind. Come on, Holly, go that way. This way. Come on, Boo.
She'll take your finger. Wait a minute.
Come on. Holly, this bacon.
She's a good girl. Come on, Hal.
Go ahead.
Well, I have to thank Holly
Come on, Mommy.
Oh.
because we would have never become friends if it wasn't for Holly. So
Ooh.
I'm used to that. Zoe does the same thing. And you wouldn't have had Zoe.
And you wouldn't have Zoe?
I wouldn't have Zoe either. No, that's right. But I remember how she was very. She didn't look as pretty as she did after after you got her.
Well,
And I remember telling you.
she had a hard life down there.
Yeah.
Go on, Holly. Look over there.
Holly.
Holly, who's baking on this? Okay, let me just help her out. Come on. Oh.
All right, Holly. You don't know my boys and girls, but you need to go hang out with them. All right?
Come on, Boo.
Holly. You're a beautiful, sweet girl.
Aw. Come on, Mama. Come on. Come on, Mama. Come on, Mama.
That's one way.
Of course. Look, Holly, over here.
I just want to say a quick toast. I met Holly when I first moved here, and I met Debbie the same way, and they were going across our yard. Unattended. But you know what? Meeting Holly and meeting Debbie let me meet Holly. And that's a really cool feeling to actually.
Cinnamon apologizes for all the times that she barked at her.
Get on with the reception?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, everybody listen
I
up.
need some broccoli. Okay.
Okay, so let's just bless Holly. And let's just say, Holly,
Holly,
we love you.
we love you.
We bless you.
We bless you.
And we see you peacefully moving on your way.
And we see you
Peacefully moving on your way.
And so it is.
And so it
And
is.
so it is.
Amen.
If anyone would like to say something before we do a final toast,
I would.
please.
Come back, me.
Okay. I'll just make this quick to a life really, really well lived with a lot of joy to other animals, to other children, to people, just a lot of joy. And I am so blessed and my life is so enhanced by having her a part of my life. So, here, Holly. Say hi. Oh, we had a burnt hopper.
Uh-oh.
Where are you, Chris?
Joanna,
Going in the menu.
rinse that got burned.
Sorry.
The lamb.
You, my mother.
Oh no.
Rinse that.
Okay.
Sure.
Really?
Hopper, your turn.
Character mark is good.
Yeah.
First time I met Holly, she was a beautiful pup, and she was also the coolest because I liked the way that she swaggered. And I'm a New York City boy, so I like the way that people swagger. Shut up. So anyway, and then I got to know Debbie, and I got to know both of them, and them walking by every day became a tradition for me, and an excitement because I got excited when I saw them, and that was really awesome for me, and I'm gonna miss having that experience, having her come by and seeing her and with Debbie. I'm gonna miss that experience.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mine's going to be more toward you. I got to meet Holly through you, but our professions have brought us close together from the orange toenails on the husky. She was in the police department, and I'm a firefighter. But Lori and I go back to the early days here, and we didn't know a lot of people. Like, I don't know a lot of people here today, unless you have a dog. We related you to your dog. Like we would say Holly's mother, but I knew Debbie from the past or whatever. But it's Holly's day, but I want to thank Debbie for the greatness she brings to all of us.
Oh, yes.
It goes
Cheers.
so unnoticed. I've spent time with you and you felt me through a bad time. But I mean, you love people and animals, you know. And I know it's going to be a tough time for you, but look in this room. We're here for you. You know, we're here for you. You've been a great mom. You're going to do it again, or whatever. But I mean, this is not a loss. It's the next chapter.
Yes.
You know, and don't ever feel like you're alone. You and I have had a lot of talks, great talks, over alcohol or just straight up, or whatever. But we've been here since the beginning. We still don't know half of our neighbor unless their dog's name is Mr. Bubbles or this or that or whatever. And that's all that matters. And that's the animals or whatever. But what you've got to bring to everything, just keep doing. I know we've had our down days and you have talked about it or whatever. And I know it's Holly's days, but I want to give you credit, you know, for what you do for everybody. Not only Holly and the community and dogs and all this here, but just what you do for us. Well, you're a pleasant person to be around, so I mean, it's going to go far. And there's another chapter, you know. I read your last article, as you know. But I mean, you got so many chapters, so there's another chapter after this. And you got so many friends here that are, look, these are dog people or whatever. And you just bring so much to us. I mean, we know you as Spanker. We don't even call you Debbie's or Holly's mom or whatever. And then Sarah, she can't be here, but of course Sarah, you know, did a lot of house sitting for you and with Holly and everything. But it's funny how the dogs bring the communities together. You know what I mean? It's like you say, they are special. When you become a dog person, like our Dixie, half the people in the neighborhood are scared of her. But, you know, just know it's sad, but it's going to be better, and there's another chapter. But she's been wonderful to all of us, you know. But here's to you.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
You know?
Thanks, everyone.
Right out the tree.
Yeah, let me.
You asked me to do this a while ago, and today's the day to do it. And we, from Malachi Foundation, all of us, and Three Black Dogs, this is how I see her as she moves forward through her life. And this is for you.
Oh,
Beautiful.
how wonderful is that?
It's beautiful. Oh, very good, Holly. Very good. You're welcome.
Oh, with her little name tag.
That's great.
Well, let's do this.
Salute.
Cheers to Holly.
Oh my God.
It's gorgeous.
All right, wine and a couple of chips.
If you can do
And
that,
your bacon.
Well, you know, it's like I was like, I have to pay.
You have to ask Miss Debbie
And
Jane.
I dreamt about it for a while. Right. She should be bright, moving on in a place where she's so
Got her Holly halo.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Are you okay?
Yeah, she's good.
What are you doing, girl?
She's being the crackers.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, how, we got the kids.
I know, I need more bacon.
Let me know if you need bacon.
Me too.
Mother and daughter.
Come on, Holly, turn that big ship around. Mommy? I know you were. Whoa. It's okay. It's okay. We're good. We're good. Okay, Zoe, stay. Stay. Whatever that was. It's okay.
Holly, look at me.
Holly, girl.
Holly, girl.
Holly.
Look at Grandma.
Holly, look up.
Come on, baby
Okay.
girl.
We got some.
Yeah.
Is there bacon involved? Oh, Charles and I got to get a picture of you. Yeah, she is so overwhelmed.
Yeah, she is. That's why she's heading for the front door.
Yeah, she's
She's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm not
Charleston.